Hello everyone, it's the start of a new week, so I'll quickly show you what I picked up at the grocery store here in Japan, and then I'll share the meals I'm making for my family this week.
My weekly grocery trips usually involve picking up fresh produce, dairy products, and a few Japanese pantry staples. As you can see, fruits and vegetables are often sold in fairly small quantities here, so I like to buy a variety of different vegetables each week and use them across several meals. It helps keep our dinners interesting while making sure everything gets used up. Dairy products can be quite expensive in Japan, but because our family enjoys them so much, I like to pick up a few items each week.
It's Monday evening, I'm home from work, and tonight I'm making ramen salada for my family. It's basically called ramen on salad. The ingredients are very simple and it takes no time to make. Today I'll be using some ramen noodles and some salad. I have some boiled eggs and also chicken neck. Now usually you would use chicken breast or even ham, but this is what I had on hand, so we're using chicken neck tonight. And this should be done in under 15 minutes.
I don't know about you, but there are some foods I only started eating after I got married, and one of them was chicken neck. My husband told me how delicious it was, and after trying it myself, it quickly became a regular purchase in our household. Ramen noodles are another thing I didn't eat very often until I got married. Not because I didn't like them, but they aren't exactly the healthiest noodle to keep on hand, so I never use them much in my cooking. Since my husband works in the food industry, he occasionally brings home random ingredients for me to use, and over the years I've learned to be resourceful and work with whatever we receive. Right now, I'm slowly trying to make my way through our rather large supply of ramen noodles. Traditionally, this dish is served with a sesame dressing, and you can find it in just about any grocery store in Japan. But as I've mentioned before, I like to make as many things from scratch as possible, so on this day I used tahini as a base to create a similar flavor to the store-bought version. It's such a simple dish, and it actually originated here on the island of Hokkaido where I live. It took me a little longer than 15 minutes to make because I had a small incident with my 2-year-old, but even so, it was still a quick and delicious dinner. It's Tuesday evening, I'm in from work and it's time to make dinner. Tonight I'm making Big Mac bowls using really simple ingredients. I'll be roasting my potatoes in the oven, then I'll cook up my mincemeat with an onion, and then I'll top that with some veggies and a homemade sauce with cheese, and dinner will be served. As you'll see in this video, we don't eat Japanese food every night of the week. As much as I love Japanese flavors, my husband and I enjoy all kinds of cuisines, so I cook a variety of meals depending on what we're in the mood for. Funnily enough, although my husband is Japanese, he tends to enjoy Western-style meals more often, while I'm usually the one craving Japanese food. So our kitchen ends up being a mix of all sorts of dishes, which keeps things interesting. I know there are lots of similar recipes online, but I think the reason this meal is so popular is because it really does taste like takeaway. It's inexpensive, satisfying, and a little healthier too. Rather than completely cutting out the foods we enjoy, I prefer finding ways to enjoy them in moderation or creating healthier versions at home. Do we still have burgers occasionally? Of course. But my husband enjoyed this meal so much that he asked for seconds, so I don't think we'll be heading out for burgers anytime soon. The seasonings were very simple. I mainly used onion powder and paprika on the potatoes and meat, while the sauce was made from mayonnaise, tomato sauce, mustard, and gherkins. I also tried to include plenty of vegetables in each meal to add a little more nutrition. I want to feed my family meals that are both delicious and nourishing while making thoughtful choices about what we eat each day. Sometimes it's not an all or nothing approach that helps us most. Often it's the small adjustments that make healthy eating enjoyable and sustainable. Wednesday was technically our day off, but we were invited to a work barbecue, so we decided to attend. Japanese barbecues, often called yakiniku, have a slightly different feel from what you might find in Australia or America. The meat usually isn't heavily marinated. Instead, everyone gathers around the charcoal grill, cooks simple cuts of meat and vegetables, and enjoys the natural flavors with either salt or a dipping sauce. I was asked to bring salted rice balls, so I prepared some onigiri along with homemade brownies and fresh fruit. It was a lovely day filled with good food and the opportunity to get to know people outside of our work setting. It's Thursday evening and I'm in from work and it's time to make dinner. Tonight I'm going to make a super easy bibimbap for dinner. Now, bibimbap is a Korean dish, but tonight I'm just going to make an easy version of it. I know this isn't the traditional way, but we're just going to do a quick and easy way of making it so that I can get dinner on the table in no time. The rice is on, so basically I need to cook up these vegetables and the meat with a sweet and spicy sauce, and dinner will be served. If you're a mum, you know that preparing dinner can sometimes be challenging, especially with young children. As I balance motherhood, work, and ministry, my meals have become much simpler than they used to be. During the week, I naturally gravitate toward quick and simple meals, and then on the weekend, I might spend a little more time making something special. I've always loved cooking, experimenting with new recipes, and trying different ingredients. When I became a mother and life changed, I had to adjust to not having quite as much freedom in the kitchen as before. My meals became simpler, faster, and sometimes a little repetitive, but over time I grew to appreciate that simplicity. Now I wouldn't trade the time I have with my daughter for anything. I know this is a short season of life when I get to have her by my side every day. So yes, my meals may be simple, but my days are filled with giggles, memories, and moments I'll treasure forever. With another baby due later this year, life will probably become even fuller, but I'm excited for the new rhythm ahead. And if that means my cooking becomes even simpler for a season, that's perfectly okay. It's Friday evening and time to make dinner. Tonight I'm making some takikomi gohan, which is basically rice and any ingredients that you enjoy cooked together, and then a simple miso soup and salad to go on the side. I have a few ingredients that I want to use up before the weekend starts, so let's make a simple dinner for the family. Takikomi gohan has become a regular meal in our home because it's so easy to prepare. On this particular day, I added salmon, garlic, green onions, a little bit of butter, and soy sauce to the rice before cooking it as usual. It would have been delicious with mushrooms as well, but I was out of them and it still turned out wonderfully. You can easily swap the salmon for chicken thighs, soy sauce for dashi, or butter for sesame oil. The possibilities are endless. I'll probably be sharing many more takikomi gohan dinners on this channel, so I hope you enjoy them. Once my simple salad and miso soup were ready, it was time to serve dinner. They were all simple dishes made with simple ingredients, but together they were exactly what we needed before heading into the weekend. I hope this video gave you some inspiration, or perhaps even a little encouragement for your own cooking at home. Just remember, simple meals can be every bit as beautiful as elaborate ones when they are shared with the people we love. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next week.